Hi, my name is Alexander. This video is a demo of Skoolhost school management software. Skoolhost management software is a learning management software and administrative tool for secondary schools, and it covers all the processes that you go through from teachers, admin, the accountant, and parents, and also the students too, because of the learning management part of it too. So Um, I hope that within these few minutes we'll go through this video together. You'll find the features interesting and useful. I'm going to start with the admin module. Right, so the admin officer is able to do the following things. Like first, we have add sessions. So the sessions, this part of the software lets the software know um, the time, the point in the calendar where it is at the current time. So you get to set the resumption date for the new session, the second term resumption date, third term resumption date, and the closing date. That way, for any time, in the calendar, it can tell by itself, where you are and be able to act accordingly in its own way. You do class and registrations here. You add upcoming events like in the hotspots and PTA meetings here. That way, the software can share this information with the parents. They can see that on the dashboard, upcoming events. Under settings, it sets your um, grading system. So first CA, maximum score, second CA, project, exam. You can vary these values and the software will enforce those rules when the teachers are entering their CA values. The other things you do here, you enter the school name, school address, email, the school logo you upload it here, the school official stamp is also uploaded here. This just shows the summary of each parent, how many children they have, and the teachers, and so there's just some information here for you when it fully comes to life, once you have your records inside it. This is to register the teachers. So teachers are registered here, and we add subjects from here. So after I've registered the student, the teachers, we add the subjects from here. And there's some subjects that, like in the senior secondary, where you have to split. So there's this feature that says repeat for all arms of this class. So you have to uncheck that when you're doing the senior secondaries. But junior secondaries is the same thing. It's the same courses across. This is for parents. You register your parents here. Of course, you need to register your parents before you register the children. So register your parents from here, and this helps you in sending out messages to parents. So if you select a class and check this button, you can click on this to get all the phone numbers of the parents. You can click on that to get their emails. The last one is for mail badge. Mail badge is for hard copy letters. If you have to send out hard copy letters, instead of having to write the names and addresses of all the parents, mail badge will let you just create one file and print uh, with the actual parents' name and their addresses. It's a very nice feature from Microsoft. So this software just creates the mail match file for you. This is for students. You register new students from here. Select the class arm and fill in. During the registration of the student, you can check this admission letter. That way, the parent will get an email of the admission letter with the school logo and school stamp and so on. This is optional though. This is for letting the software know when the child is being registered. So if the child is registered at the beginning of the session, then all boxes will be checked. So the child's parents will have to pay first term, second term, and third term fee as they come. But if you uncheck this, that would mean that the child came in from second term, so there will be no invoice for the first term. That just keeps the accounting books in order. So it's very necessary it is done correctly. Let me show one more feature here before we move on. This shows you, I just did a search for a student, and there's a button here that says view an ID card. So this is the ID card that the software generates. You may choose to use it if you like it. It has the school name, address, phone number of the school, then the parent's phone number, the child's blood group and gender, just in case the child is in an accident. The hospital would know what to do if they need to do blood transfusion. So that's very useful. Also, there's some medications that may be sensitive to. I don't know if they're sensitive to blood group. I'm not a medical doctor. Moving on. Return incidents here. So this is how you indicate if the child is returning back for that session. So each child that returns for the session, you have to indicate here. So the parent will get that terms that sessions on invoicing. So you don't need to recreate it from here. So return incident is short. I just click on this and the software will generate the invoices. This is for class arm transfer. If the child needs to move from one arm to another, this is where that is done. This is for results. So if you select the class arm and the term, you'll find the students, all the students here. Click any one of them and you find the results. So this is the result sheet, guys, the photograph. Now this is going to be maths, English, biology, and so on. But I just have one here for this show and tell. So you have homework and so on and so on. You can see that you also have down here other things like student term total, class term total, class average, and other useful things in that are visible in the results. You have your school reopening date, next term school fees. Don't worry, zero for now because I didn't put all the classes. But to carry the actual school fees there, and note from the form teacher and that of the admin. You also have attendance percentage here. Let me show one little feature here. Let's go to third term, for instance. Right? The software will then carry. Okay, let me go back to this one. Code. Okay. Okay. I can't show this feature now because we don't have third term results. I only put something for first term. Okay. What I wanted to show there was when it's on third term. Okay. It will show a cumulation of first, second, and third term, and the grading will be based on the averages or from the summation of those values to recreate what you have. It's a bit complex even for me, so let me not attempt to explain it. It does a third term calculation differently. Okay, so I digress. We're looking at students, return student. Okay, we have transcripts. So this generates transcripts. If you have the child's name, I think Joe. That's Samuel John. Samuel John. So this just generates a child transcript. I don't have a lot of records here to show, but then that's what it will do. Generate child transcript. Still under reports, we have students registry. Let me skip that and come to the admin just to save time. This is comments from parents. Okay, so the parents can make comments, write comments from their own module. That is visible to the admin here. This is the number of registered students. Now, when the teachers create quizzes, if the teacher creates a quiz, it comes to the admin for approval. So the admin approves the quiz before it becomes visible to the student to take the quiz. We'll see all of that when we are on the teachers module. There's a birthday coming up today. You'll see the birthday here. And you can click on this to get the parent's phone number for a quick call to say happy birthday to your child. This is behavioral notes. Again, um, comments from the teachers come to the admin for approval before it goes to the parent. So that's what that is for. This is for um, e-materials. So the parents, the teachers, let me click on that so I'll show you. The teachers create e-materials, okay? And if you choose to use that feature, of course, and these materials come to you as admin to approve. So you can view the material and then approve it and becomes part of the learning materials, e-materials for the students. Otherwise, the feature is just there if you wish to use it. It's e-learning thing. So log out and go in as a teacher. All right. So the teacher sees birthdays. So a form teacher, of course, will see birthdays of students in the class. This is message from a parent. Down here we have um, notification of upcoming events. This is virtual classes. So if the teacher has created the virtual class, this is how the teacher would join said class. So under e-learning, you have stuff like adding topics. So the subjects have already been added by the admin, but the teacher can add um, topics and then add learning materials under each of those topics from here. This feature is again optional. The e-learning part of it is optional. You don't have to use that feature. But if you wish to, once you've added the materials, the students can, from their own module, have access to these materials to go through it. Depending on the subject they've selected, they'll see the topic, they'll see materials under each of them, and they can learn from their houses. If you're going to have an online class, this is how you do that. Click on this to add online class. All you just do is to select the day. I'm going to use today and set start time. I'm going to set maybe right now and say an hour from now, and I've created the class. So back on my dashboard, you would see that I now have enter classroom. So if I click on this, it's going to open a new tab that is a virtual class. So the teachers, the students can see me, I can see the students, and we can have our class virtually. So instead of having to use like Zoom or Google Meet where you have a limit of say 30 minutes and the class and then you get logged out, 30 minutes or 1 hour. 1 hour, I think it's 1 hour max or so. And once that time reaches, it logs you out. But you have this one is has no limit to time. So you can just create one class and have the class session with them for the whole day, and you will not be interrupted. I don't need to worry about, again, if you have to use Google Meet or Google or Zoom, the school will need to pay for the account, and it will be very expensive to pay for one for each teacher. So probably have to have one. Means you can have two classes at the same time. And even if you do have two or three accounts, you have to have the admin login to receive the students, all of that complexities are avoided once you use this feature. Other things you do here, take class attendance. Let's say take class attendance and check the people that are not present and click submit. The software will send an email to the parents of the students that we are not in school during roll call. So you don't need to do that manually. This is to record the performance again. The maximum scores will be enforced if I do something like 16. It's going to prompt me that the maximum is 10. So you select the subject and you enter the CA values. Of course, you can only enter CA values of courses that you are, of subjects that you are taking as a teacher. This is the notes where you can enter notes, and it becomes visible to the admin. If he approves, then the parents get to see any note you have for the parent. This is to view notes from the parents. This one to view notes from the parents. There aren't any. This is to design a homework. So it's just quizzes basically. So you set a start and end time for said quiz. Like I can do that and say the quiz end on that day. They have all that time to take the quiz. Then you can get to put the question. I'm just going to write some gibberish there. And this is the option A value, option B, option C. And then what's the correct option? Correct option is option B. Okay. Click to add. And then you add more questions, You add as much as 50, 20 questions. And when it gets to that time, the students will see those assignments from their parents' module, and then they can take the quiz. If they want to take the quiz, get to the end, They see a summary of the questions they've taken. Once they submit, the software will assess it and show them, the ones they got and the ones they didn't get. It's a way for them to also learn and prepare for the exams. Let me show one more thing I didn't talk about here. I didn't mention that the software can assess the score of the quiz. So you can set it to none. Most of the time you want it to be none. That way it's just a test. But if you set as project, then whatever the outcome is, the software will automatically calculate and assess them as project scores for them. Also, birthdays are here. You see them when they come. End of term, teacher can see term result sheet. Okay, let me show you. Of course, this is the class. This lets the teacher add other. No, how would I put it now? You saw on the result sheet it had form teacher's notes. So this is where the form teacher adds those notes. Okay, so this is term result sheet for students in the class. As if it's a form teacher, it's only form teachers that can see this. This is a summary of the results. So this shows you for each of these subjects how the students performed. So to just put maths, English, chemistry, physics is a long list, but I only have maths here. Okay, and then at the bottom it gives you the summary of their scores and sets their positions too. Now most private schools don't give positions, but at least you get to see what they are if you wish to. Okay, so I think I ran through everything there. Okay, this is to promote students at the end of the session. All right, let me log out quickly so that I can show you the the parents module. All right, the parents module, they see upcoming events, notes from teachers haven't been approved. Is a homework. They will see it here and they can take the quiz. This is outstanding debt. This is learning materials. So click on that. I already talked about the learning materials. That's where it can be assessed. So if you select that, you will see your children. Anyone you select, you see if there are learning materials available. Okay, I have something for mathematics. I click on that and I can see that. Now remember, it's only approved materials you see. Let me come down here. Okay, this is how the child will join that virtual class that was created. Click to join. This upcoming event, PTA meeting. This is outstanding debt. You click on that. You will see what made up that value, the summation of these values. So for any of these ones, it's just, of course, there are two children. So this is first term school fees for this child. This is for this other child. If you're owing debt from the previous session, you also find them here. You can click on this to service said debt. You will see the invoice number, invoice to you, pay to the school address, a school account information is there, payment due date which has passed, invoice date. And then you see a breakdown of what made up the total amount. This is book, this PTA, this tuition, this is a discount. So if you want to apply a discount to a parent, that discount will be here. Total deposit so far will be here, and that's the total money that is outstanding. So if you can pay all the money, or you can make a part payment of say 15,000. You click on this, it's going to request for your card details. If you enter them, then the money goes to the school account, and the accountant sees those records on his own or his or her own module. Okay. Um, I think I've covered most of the things that you do here. Other things I didn't mention is class attendance. You see your children's attendance, class attendance from there. Under report, I think the only report you're going to see is just the result sheet. So your children's results are just there for you to see it instantly. As soon as it's ready, as soon as it's been approved, actually, you will see the results appear here for you. All right, so let's log out quickly and rush the accountant module because it's a whole lot to cover here. This is total cash receivables, cash payables, a standing loan, and current balance. The invoices, outstanding, receivable invoices that are outstanding here, breakdown. Then this is So for each of the school fees, you need to set what makes up the school fees. So it's not just say 50,000 naira or 500,000 naira. So how much is the tuition? How much is PTA levy? How much is book fee? So this way, add the breakdown of what makes up the school fees. This is where you add your vendors. From here, you add your assets because the software is doing asset depreciation calculation for you. So you need to put scrap value, useful years, initial cost, procurement date. So all those calculations will be done correctly for you. If you have a loan, if it's a previous loan before you started using the software, you add it from here. If it's a new loan, it's here. This is where you capture your loan refund. This is to show you your payables. So if you have an outstanding, well, this you add, I think so you add the payables because you have to generate those payables. Select the vendor, set the invoice date, and the individual items that make up the invoice, so that you'll be prompted once it's the due date has reached, and then you enter an amount to service said invoice. This is for receivables. So the receivable invoices are, of course, just the school fees, and you can see it has total paid versus how much that is there. Now you can modify said invoice. You can send a reminder. If you click on this, it's going to send an email reminder to the parent. Okay. You can make modification. Now this modification, like just click on it, you can see the records, the full breakdown is here. You can maybe do a discount if you wish to. So you can give a discount of 10,000 to this parent if you wish to, of course. And you see the money now has 10,000 naira discount. So it has moved from the initial 75 to now 65. You can add another item if something is not in the list. Say that child needs new uniforms. It's not in your standard school fees. You need to add uniforms. So you add uniform from here, and it becomes part of the invoice. Transactions. So this is where you receive payments. So if you are going to receive a physical payment from the parent, this is where you capture it. Because there are two ways. Either the parent is paying online with their card on their own at their own time, or maybe bank transfer, or they're coming to you in the school and they pay you, and then you register the payment here. This is to make payments to vendors. That's payable invoices are serviced from here, basically. These are some charts for you. You have chart of account. Part of what chart of account does for you is that you can add additional expenditure accounts. So these ones come in with the software, but additionally you can add expenditure accounts. Okay, but these ones are standard. You must have these ones, and then you add expenditure account. The payroll is for your staff, and you can set the salaries that you are paying each of them, and you click on this to generate invoice for the month. You need to click on this once every month so it generates your salary invoice because part of your payables that needs to happen. This is cash flow statement. So if you set a date interval, I don't think I'm going to have any special record. Let me just run, see what happens. Yeah, I don't have a lot of recording here. But anyway, if I had some of those records, it will show you, transactions, cash flow coming, all your receivables, all your, what's the word now? Debits and credits. So your debits and credits will appear. I don't have any records in there. Invoice statements are here. Income statement is here. So you set the date range is here. Income statement. Your balance sheet is here. This way it does all those assets calculation and comes up with your um, net worth, which is net assets down here. So all of that calculation happens here for you. So that's just a brief of the accounting module. And I hope that even though I rushed through these features, I hope we were able to see all it can do. I really didn't want to take a lot of time from anyone viewing, but I just wanted you to still be able to see the features that are there. As you can see, the goal is to make your school work easier. You as school owner, you can see what's going on in your school without having to physically go there. You can see all your transactions, financial transactions, and the school is managed easier. Um, Instead of traditional lesson notes, you can use the learning materials instead of the lesson notes. Students can use the e-materials instead of having to write. But again, it's optional. You can choose the traditional taking of notes. But that feature is there for you. You can have virtual classes in case there's a reason for people to not come to school. Your student can still learn. You can still have materials to read, have virtual classes, do quizzes, which can also be used like an exam too if you tweak it right. I also have another software that helps do CBT. So for preparation for O-level exams, I have CBT software, which is not in this video, and it just simulates what happens in your WAEC and NECO. So it has interval and no need to talk much about it. Just if you wish to have that software too, we also have that covered. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.